Hey, mister. I'm not gonna bother you with a long greeting, just like we talked about before. I know you're probably a busy man being an important police officer and all, and person. Mr. Evrat doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys. But who did you want to talk about? Mr. Edgar is Mr. Evrat's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does, but a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revershaw, they say. All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Everett's turn to look after the union. But last year he spent a whole left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again. He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Everett sometimes. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone...
Oil for the wheels. Much needed in stressful times like these.
Whoa, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy.
That's precisely what he is. Everard's dragon.
Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice friendly sort old Titus is. I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Everett would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister. The night guard. Ooh, he's a peculiar fellow. He's the strong, silent type, you could say. We talk all the time, but I don't really know much about him. He plays petanque with my old human studies teacher, Mr. Martin, down at the plaza. I think he's the only fellow who actually knows old. They lived on the same street their entire lives. Even dated the same girl on and off for as long as I can remember. Strange fellows. Mr. Martin was always real nice to me in school. Mr. Martin, yes. Don't really remember much about him. I was just a boy back then. Sure, mister. What can...
File cabinet stands steady as hundreds of, and the same you already went. Remember, Leo, all items on the drawers.
Work!
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Hold on. I've got Central Jamrock Public Library on the line, and I've already introduced you to their librarian.
Yes, this is Central Jamrock Public Library here. How can I help you, officer?
He sounds worried, yet ready to assist. This is how people get when the police call.
Billy Majon, you said. Give me a moment, I'll...
On Moreau Drive in central Jamrock, in a darkened hall lit by orange desk lamps far away from the noise outside, a middle-aged man taps commands into...
Yes, hello, are you still there? I found Billy Majon's home address, is that alright? No phone number, unfortunately. Here we go, sir. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33B, apartment...
That's where the smoker on the balcony lives, isn't it?
It says here that they returned their last book just a few days ago. But Marie? Marie? Do you remember a reader named Billy Majon? They returned a Tybalt book the other... Yes, it was my colleague Marie. She said that it was Billy's husband who returned the book. He also asked for this new sci-fi release, Lowe's Radio City 87. But we don't have it yet. Marie knows Billy. She's been working here longer than me.
And then goes for a little drink later, on the lookout.
Sorry, no. Marie only knows him by sight. Marie? She said it was an older man, and that she's pretty sure he'd have... One sec. Sorry. Marie wasn't really paying any attention to that. Happy we could help. Goodbye, officer.
Anything else you need from me? One moment. Can you please describe the body? Age, sex, cause of death?
The man was about 173 centimeters tall, stout, with dark hair and a mustache.
Any signs of violence? No field autopsy necessary.
You can hear her quickly typing.
What about his belongings? Did you examine his clothes? Any information on the library card? Good. You have it. Do you and Lieutenant Kitsuragi want to take the case, or should I assign it? I have assigned the case to Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi. Please follow up on this library lead. That's all for now. Thank you for reporting in. Is there anything else I can... 57...
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers.
Officer, care to play a game with... Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same. The prick is gone. I can't... Hell, most likely. He was an absolute cunt. His hungry little heart finally gave out. The dock workers found him. Guess he was about to head home. 'Cause sometimes I thought he was wearing it just to piss me. I repeat, an absolute cunt. The only people who could stand to be around him were... and she never lost sight of it. And I thought if the most beautiful being in the world... We've hated each other our entire life. Yes, I loved that angry prick. He didn't deserve it, but I did. In Guillaume's time, you'd have been shot without trial. That's what he said to me. He lived a cunt, and he died a cunt. Let me see. This was 60 years ago. We all went to that parade. I'm sorry, officer. I just...
That was nice. A small thing for us, but invaluable to him. He probably didn't even know René had the photo. Yes, we are both...
It is what it is. Part of life, really. But to know someone, I just don't know anymore. About anything, really. But you must need something. René wasn't really what you'd call a botanist, officer.
Of course he didn't. Flowers are for pansies. Stop wasting...
That's their old name, dating back to the time of kings and crests, and all that other stuff he loved. There were many reasons, but mostly it was the communals. I guess in the end, the Insulindian lilies were just an...
But you feel the dried flower in your hand somehow still does matter, although not to this sad old man.
Yes? What about...
Yes.
It is what I just don't know.
Give me a moment. It's about Victor, isn't it? It's always about Victor with her.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man. The aging alcoholic is still there. The aging alcohol. Silence. Only heat emanate. A weathered brown door. Something smells good. The lieutenant motions to you. This is the door. You already know. Get yourself together. It's just police work.
You're right. Let's talk this through.
You hear light footsteps passing by.
We have our first preliminary identification. In all likelihood, the deceased is now. Delivering a death notification is never an easy task. There's a reason why it's often called the most stressful part of our job. This is why it's usually dead. Just don't say that you know how they feel.
Good advice. The lieutenant motions towards the door.
Hello? Who is it?
And someone turns down the radio.
The police. A moment.
Tidying up. There's fear in her voice.
Come in. The door is open. It's you, from the bookstand. Did you come to bring my cockatoo back? I don't think I introduced myself properly. I'm Billy.
The lieutenant has taken off his foggy glasses and he must feel vulnerable without his glasses. Is this why he's letting you take the lead?
Is this about Victor, my husband? Is he in some kind of trouble again? No. This is something much worse. Is he in a hospital?
Definitely no small talk. This isn't the time or place.
How have I been? You're not here to discuss me. People got to eat. What is this about? Why are you suddenly asking me about my cooking?
She looks up, too anxious to say anything. You've done this before. Just keep your focus.
What did you say?
A great and terrible spike. The blood.
Oh. Oh. But he was just...
But he was just here.
We understand this comes as a huge shock. I want you to know that me and my partner are here for you. If
What happened to him? Was he drunk? I see. And you just felt... How long had he been?
If you say 2 days maybe, it will be etched in her mind forever. She blinks, eyes welling up with tears.
here,
No. I just need to tell...
It burns like
God. Should I call?
no. A day.
Good. That's probably the right thing.
She can't take much more. Her stomach.
Just tell me, what do I need?
we've taken him to the city morgue. The local coroner will be contacting you shortly to arrange the funeral. Is there anything else?
No, I'll call you if something comes up. I'm still... Thank you. Thank you for telling...
These are her last reserves of strength.
We should step outside and talk. You did well. I'll call the station when we're finished with the day and let them know the name of the deceased. That's it. We should get back to our case now that our they'll manage.
They have to. It's not your place to live there.
Let's go.
You look south, over the crumbling balustrade. There, 1.2 kilometers away, a piece of broken stone cuts into the sky. A tomb. This door is made of metal. No one answers.
We should return in the evening.
The once bright mural towers above you, saying, Feld Electrical, R&D. The once bright mural towers above you. Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving in through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away.
She's down there.
Okay. Why? Right. How do we get in there? The doors were under collapsed.
Finally, My time to shine.
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything.
There has to be a way to use brute force. Climbing sound. A rusty ladder leads to the roof.
Yeah, that doesn't look good.
The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have, in addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground, and you're 180? Okay, but still, the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty. What if you were to reconsider? Astral projection. B.
Teleportation is not a thing. This really has nothing to do with advance. Oh yes, it could hurt.
He is restraining himself from using a parental tone with you right now. The rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Zoot, zap, pow, crinkle.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement.
I just saw you climb the ladder. You just climbed it like a regular...
The wind at the top of the building starts howling.
Never mind! Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go...
Two rusty metal plates that slide apart form a crude door. It's...
What do you mean who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing.
The doors seem to be on rails, but they've gotten jammed. You grab a side and put some strip.
Huh. I hope no one dangerous. After you climbed up to the roof, you mean? There's a maintenance entrance under the boardwalk.
He's quite proud of himself.
At least now we have an exit, so let's get going. It's time to investigate these passages.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. The plaque reads, K. Mazop. Years' worth of dust is shaken off, the full head of hair matched by an ample moustache. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand, grains sticking to the frayed skin of the fingertips.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted. We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case. Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff. You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your skin.
No, what do you mean? I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh. Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our once we detain a credible suspect. Who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do?
Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think.
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
Yes. There won't be time for that once things go down.
If you must.
We absolutely cannot skip that appointment. Consider that 100% confirmed.
His hand rests on his holster. It's not enough. You need a gun in your hand too.
Okay. Why not? Whatever goes down might...
Not closely enough, you suspect. But still, good idea to visit.
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we?
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of...
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't
Or maybe not. Either way, once we...
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain? I really don't know, sir. I certainly don't feel...
She smiles, a bitter little smile.
Clearly, I haven't. We're having this...
The rain falls on her shoulder.
I'm stuck in Martinez just like all of us. I've been up here for... I don't know how long now. I like to call this my rooftop. For my sins, of course. For destroying my first love. Did I? Why do I still feel
The lieutenant looks up. He feels uncomfortable with this conversation. He doesn't know what to add.
I don't know what to say. None of this is fortuitous for me. You mean that little thing you caught when you first came here? On the roof? I don't know, sir. I said I have no... I mean, there's no reason for me to think there...
She nods, slowly. There is suddenly a strange glint in her eyes. Not malicious, but she looks at the chipped white polish covers the nail. It's long.
Pretty. Looks like a dried maybell. Is that the one you caught? Sambo stuff. Why was there a flower on...
Or an admirer?
Admirers? I'm too old to be a debutante. Oh.
Did you take the...
No, of course not. As I said, it would have been too risky for me to use those documents anyway. Yes, I am. Regardless, it was probably just an accident. I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch.
The words, washed away, sound distant and strange suddenly. Two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman having... Two neon-lit shapes, a man and...
Promising race pupil returns.
Get you.
To comprehend time, you must possess at least the concept.
Just remember.
Come back to me when you've mastered.
This coin-operated viewer. Your money disappears into the coin. The curtains on the display open. The lenses shift. It looks as if its leaves ripped from it by the winter wind.
Can you tell? From this
It's not. The details are blurry. There's water vapor in the way. This coin-operated viewer is facing just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. You have no clue. So many walls all over Martinez. The door has braved the elements for the royal lion, Guillaume's kitten. This knocker will last a lifetime.
That already defeats the point, doesn't it? Let's get up.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say. Is what you're about to say when a cold streak runs through your heart. Once said, there is no going back, Harry. Yes. What if something happens to her and you've left one question unasked? Sneaky little question is...
Did you now? What sort of borscht is he making? The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more... Why, if I may ask? Why make them more dry?
Yes, detective. What were you hoping to accomplish with this strange thing?
Beyond curious. I will choose to interpret that, and because I don't like the idea of them any more drunk than they already are. What else? Sounds like he has you running errands, detective. A well-established here. Oh no. What does that
It's clear the village has already grown dead.
No, don't tell me. I don't want to know what he has. A giant statue of him. Or better yet, his twin brother. A youth center with Edgar Clare's Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to... I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone. Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the
She's sentimental, all right. You don't know enough about her to find out why exactly. She will keep her secrets for now.
First, there won't be a youth center. Whatever he's told you or the residents. A fishery. I've been speaking with Lillian here. Sadly, it's just one of the million things I'll never get round to. I just have to accept that I'll never be the rich... Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time, Detective.
She is more
Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information? Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later, should, well, technically speak. Good. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of... Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else? Oh. A takeover? If they're taking it...
green livery, like a cancer of the...
Then we're talking about a war. Evrart needs to let me into the harbor at once. They most certainly are not. Crenell has 1,000 men on their payroll.
I've seen the Union's forces. They are better organized. It will take more than Crenell to wipe them out. Wild Pines will need to send more, and I am sure you have the money. The question is...
What do you suggest I do? Everything affects the...
Officer?
For once, I don't seem to know what the right thing to do is.
I'm afraid we won't disco our way out of this one. Of course. Your job is to clean up after... What will I do? Did I ever tell you how they discovered this Isola? During our reality lowdown. It may be the only break we've ever... The nations who colonized this Isola called theirs Muindi, the world. It was all they knew. The Pale was thought to be impregnable, perpetual. Irene la Navigateur, the Queen of Suren, sent 8 expeditions. It was anything but normal. There was no precedent. People thought she was punishing the until after years of trial and error, and the development of a strict psychological regime imitating the...
Called Volta Doma.
The 8th expedition returned sane and intact. They told of a new continent of matter. They told the Queen and her count slowly raining down.
The air is cold and there are rain circles on water all around. Humid, so does the lieutenant. The droplets feel warm.
The phenomenon has never again been encountered. For a time, the crew thought they were but they could not. They were sane and conscious, as islands began to appear on the horizon.
You've thought it 1,000,000 times.
A total shift in human comprehension of reality. On the second day, 4 years later, the Queen's Counsellor was proclaimed Her Innocence Dolores Day, the elected world spirit, the age of humanism on Caillou. The Pebble, the largest of the fertile, uninhabited, the first living, autonomous organism. Proof of reality. It's the symbol of Insulinde, Detective. In your defense, it is a nasty creature who plucks food from the throats of lesser birds.
There was a sting in your heart at the mention before, when she said its name.
The nations of Mundi proceeded to discover 5 more Isolae. But these others weren't uninhabited. We had to kill people there. Wipe out indigenous population. There was no one but the Skua, the Liliat Sea, and the Blood Beach, and the River Esperance. It was the new world. The Mondials, revolution, poverty, and the mercurial... It is.
The gangs will run wild, jacking motor carriages, ferrying amphetamines through Coal City. Spring is tough.
I will surrender Terminal B to the Union.
She puts her hand in.
We will see.
It is. It is well within her authority.
Ma'am, this may well unravel property law this side of the river. If that occurs, we may never see the end of this kind of confrontation. The next time there will be...
What happens will happen. The age of capital has only begun. I will talk to my employers in person. We will amputate and cauterize Martinez. If you handle the situation on the ground. Yes, Mr. Clare has a 2-month head start. I can't let it grow any bigger. And I've exhausted all my options from here.
Do you know what this lady needs? Some political advice. Even though she's a high-powered corporate executive, and you're an amnesiac degenerate, you're pretty sure she needs to hear your opinion on this.
In short, Harry, we will revoke the pigment standard. Your man, I know. Keep the peace.
How far along is...
A confrontation is imminent. As your investigation reaches a climax, protect their targets. Violence may be soon. I do not know precisely. They have cut... One last thing, Lieutenant Dubois. I've given the matter much... I know, because I, too, am insane. No, Detective.
Don't worry, madame. I am very...
I'm overexposed, baby. My travels take me through the Pale dozens of times a year. I've got the...
She would die to return to it. The Pale. The past.
The same strict psychological regimen the 8th Admiral developed when he crossed the Pale and discovered this Isola. The Voltado...
You could use a little of it yourself.
Watch out for yourselves. They will strike soon.
The lieutenant watches her boat grow small with worry in his eyes. Your stomach gurgles. Your chance to track down the reality rhizome has slowly. The sails turn grey-blue.